Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom theme park in Bay Lake, Florida, right outside Orlando, has been described as one of the most magical places on Earth. Any adult who remembers taking a family vacation there in their formative years might attest to this. Over the years, Magic Kingdom has been given some major additions and overhauls that have made it even more of a magical experience. From castles to princesses to flying elephants to everyone's favorite mammalian mascot, Mickey Mouse, there's nothing that screams Disney more than spending a few days at the Magic Kingdom. To help you get the most bang for your buck, we've decided to clue you in on what we think are the best attractions that Disney's Magic Kingdom has to offer. Space Mountain. If you consider yourself a roller coaster fan, then you must give this one a go, but it's far more than your standard coaster. First of all, it starts out in the dark, which creates a feeling of suspense as you have no way of knowing what's ahead. Plus, the ride makes abrupt turns, changing direction quickly. Riders will have to be at least 3 foot 8 inches tall to ride, but as long as they meet that criteria, this is a wonderful ride for kids and adults of all ages. After boarding a rocket ship-shaped car, riders are blasted off into space. After 2.5 minutes of zipping about, they are returned safely to Magic Kingdom. Over the decades, Space Mountain has undergone several major renovations. The cars have been replaced twice in the ride's lifespan. The queue has also had several significant cosmetic changes as the sponsors have changed numerous times. But Space Mountain is just as exhilarating and rough as it always has been. 7 Dwarfs Mine Train. Located in Fantasyland, this extensively themed coaster weaves together several elements from Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs into a ride that's 1 part dark ride and 1 part thrill ride. The coaster is exceptionally smooth, so if Space Mountain was a little too jostling for you, you shouldn't have problems here. But it's not the most intense ride either. It's perfect for families visiting with younger children who might not be quite ready for more spirited coasters. It's easily one of the most popular rides at the park. To avoid long waits, try to get there early in the morning or at the end of the day. Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. If you and your children are fans of Disney Pixar Monsters, Inc. films, you'll love this show. While you're waiting in line, you'll be asked to submit a joke to the world of monsters. Once passing through the doors, you'll be greeted by all the monsters from the films on screen. Not only will you see your favorites, but you'll also be treated to a few new ones as well. Since the monster world runs off of laughter now, they need to make the audience laugh to keep the lights on. The show is also interactive. Monsters will talk directly to various members of the audience. Overall, the experience is hilarious. Even if you see the show more than once on a trip, you wouldn't see the exact same show. The Haunted Mansion. An oldie, but definitely a goodie. The Haunted Mansion is one of the oldest rides at Magic Kingdom. Set in an old Victorian-style house with a particularly creepy vibe, this ride does a good job providing guests with a touch of fright without ever getting too intense for younger visitors. As guests make their way to the entrance, they'll walk past an old family graveyard complete with a pet cemetery. The closer you get to the mansion, the more signs you'll see indicating this is no ordinary home. Guests then find themselves in a chamber where they'll have to figure out if the floor drops out or the ceiling raises. After you've figured that out, you'll board a doom buggy, which will take you on a spine-tingling tour of the mansion grounds. Be on the lookout for the eerie little details that make the Haunted Mansion such a ghastly, wonderful experience. The Imagineers clearly had a lot of fun designing this one. The People Mover. Above Tomorrowland, you'll find this iconic ride. And there's no better way to get a photo-worthy view of Tomorrowland, Space Mountain, and the castle. The ride is a relatively slow-moving train. While being toted around, you'll get to put your feet up, enjoy a little AC, and listen to a recorded message that gives you a tour of Tomorrowland through a nostalgic lens. You'll even get a chance to take a peek inside Space Mountain. It's a Small World. This indoor boat ride is a pretty lengthy one. For over 15 minutes, riders will pass by over 300 animated characters singing the It's a Small World song in dozens of different languages. It's a nice, classic ride, although that song has been known to drive some people up the wall. It might not seem like anything special, but it's one of those attractions that shines because of its nostalgia alone. Peter Pan's Flight. The park's most popular Fantasyland dark ride, Peter Pan's Flight, is an especially beloved attraction for families with young children. It's enjoyable because you get to fly in your vehicle seemingly up high while seeing various scenes from the Peter Pan film from that perspective. It's a fun ride, but keep in mind the line gets pretty long, so you'd benefit by trying to see it earlier in the morning if possible. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This outdoor roller coaster is themed like an old abandoned mine car in the American Southwest. It's one of the park's best roller coasters and, not surprisingly, one of the most popular rides at the park as well. Big Thunder Mountain can be found at the end of Frontierland next door to Splash Mountain. Speeds reach up to 30 miles an hour as you're whipped around through numerous twists and turns, dips, and dives. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This family-friendly ride is a lot of fun, but expect it to have a long line. Fortunately, it moves at a pretty steady pace. When you board the ride's cars, you're effectively deputized as an honorary Space Ranger. You're tasked with shooting all the Z stickers to thwart the nefarious efforts of evil Emperor Zurg. As you're carted around, your car can turn from side to side and rotate. If you're visiting the park with a group, try to beat each other's high scores. Mickey's PhillarMagic. This show will take you on a 3D tour of some of the most beloved classic Disney films. The backstory of the ride involves Mickey Mouse, of course, who has lost his magic hat and has to get it back in time for the show. To help his friend out, Donald Duck goes on a journey to find Mickey's hat while traveling through several Disney movies. Not only is the show 3D, but arguably it's 4D. When you're taken to the dining hall from Beauty and the Beast, you can actually smell the food, and when you visit the world of The Little Mermaid, you're splashed with water. Pirates of the Caribbean. Another classic Disney boat ride that deserves a mention is this pirate-themed masterpiece. Recently, the ride was updated to include various elements from the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Now you get to see Captain Jack Sparrow, Captain Barbossa, and Davy Jones in all their glory. The ride begins with a big drop before taking riders to Port Royal just as pirates are taking over. You might get a little wet on this ride, but it's not one of those boat rides that will leave you soaked. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your favorite Magic Kingdom attractions and rides? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Viewcation if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.